The reading of all good books is like conversation with the finest men of past centuries. If you would be a real seeker after truth, it is necessary that at least once in your life you doubt, as far as possible, all things. Conquer yourself rather than the world. Doubt is the origin of wisdom. Common sense is the most widely shared commodity in the world, for every man is convinced that he is well supplied with it. Except our own thoughts, there is nothing absolutely in our power. It is not enough to have a good mind. The main thing is to use it well. To know what people really think, pay attention to what they do, rather than what they say. The greatest minds are capable of the greatest vices as well as of the greatest virtues. I desire to live in peace and to continue the life I have begun under the motto, to live well, you must live unseen. It is only prudent never to place complete confidence in that by which we have even once been deceived. You just keep pushing. You just keep pushing. I made every mistake that could be made, but I just kept pushing. But in my opinion, all things in nature occur mathematically. To live without philosophizing is in truth the same as keeping the eyes closed without attempting to open them. There is nothing more ancient than the truth. Divide each difficulty into as many parts as is visible and necessary to resolve it. In order to improve the mind, we ought less to learn than to contemplate. He who had well lived well. Each problem that I solved became a rule which served afterwards to solve other problems. Let whoever can do so deceive me. He will never bring it about that I am nothing, so long as I continue to think I am something. At last, I will devote myself sincerely and without reservation to the general demolition of my opinions. It is a mark of prudence never to place our complete trust in those who have deceived us even once. Bad books engender bad habits, but bad habits engender good books. I am accustomed to sleep and in my dreams to imagine the same things that lunatics imagine when awake. It is best not to go on for great quest for truth. It will only make you miserable. Nothing is more fairly distributed than common sense. No one thinks he needs more of it than he already has. Whenever anyone has offended me, I try to raise my soul so high that the offense cannot reach it. The destruction of the foundations necessarily brings down the whole edifice. The first precept was never to accept a thing as true until I knew it as such without a single doubt. The thinking of the mind is twofold, understanding and willing. When it is not in our power to determine what is true, we ought to follow what is most probable. Truths are more likely to have been discovered by one man than by nation. In order to determine whether we can know anything with certainty, we first have to doubt everything we know. Mind and soul of the man is entirely different from the body. Nothing is made from nothing. I took especially great pleasure in mathematics because of the certainty and the evidence of its arguments. The will determines itself. It should not be described as blind, any more than vision should be described as deaf. To know what people really think, pay regard to what they do rather than what they say. All that is necessary to right action is right judgment, and to the best action the most correct judgment. To attain the truth in life, we must discard all the ideas we were taught. It is a common failing of mortals to deem the more difficult the fairer. We ought not, meanwhile, to make use of doubt in the conduct of life. If there is anything more intimate or more internal than pain, one needs to know what thought is, what existence is, and what certainty is. If I find some reason for doubt in each of my beliefs, that will be enough to reject all of them. Nothing can be imagined which is too strange or incredible to have been said by some philosopher. He cannot be a deceiver, since the light of nature teaches us that fraud and deception necessarily proceed from some defect. The more uncommon often only mislead us so long as the causes of the more ordinary are still unknown. It is impossible for individuals to examine the huge number of new books that are being published every day. My principle has ever been to attempt to overcome myself rather than fortune, and to change my desires rather than the natural order. Science in its entirety is true and evident cognition. If philosophers were always in agreement about the meaning of words, almost all their disputes would evaporate. Perfect numbers, like perfect men, are very rare. Method consists entirely in properly ordering and arranging the things to which we should pay attention. In everyday life, we must often act without delay. It is a most certain truth that when it is not in our power to discern the truest opinions, we must follow the most probable. There is nothing so strange and so unbelievable that it has not been said by one philosopher or another. This is so much the case that the will is the chief basis for my understanding that I bear a certain image and likeness of God.